How's it going, everyone? This is Eric from allthingsfloor.com. So in today's video, if you haven't noticed already from the title or from the introduction, we're talking about Lifeproof vinyl flooring. And it's a really exciting video because this is one of the most popular brands of vinyl flooring, really one of the most popular brands of flooring that's around today. So there's a lot of interest from consumers about, what this flooring type has to offer. And so we really want to give you an honest review that'll give you all the details you need to know about this particular brand, about the cost, about how to install, about some of the benefits, some of the pros, some of the cons, so that hopefully by the end of this video, if you were on the fence about Lifeproof, you really can make the decision to either move forward or to look elsewhere. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dig right in. So let's first start with who is Lifeproof. So Lifeproof vinyl flooring is actually manufactured by a company called Halstead International. And Lifeproof vinyl flooring is manufactured by this company exclusively for the Home Depot. So you can only buy these types of floors from Home Depot. And while it's been pretty tough to trace down information related to the brand's history, we feel comfortable saying with all the information we're seeing that the brand's been around for about 3 to 4 years and actually may have been operating under a different name previously. But Lifeproof, the brand we know, has been around for about 3 to 4 years at the Home Depot. Now, one of the most interesting pieces of information that we found while doing our research on this brand is that Halstead International, again, the manufacturer of Lifeproof, actually won the Innovation of the Year award for Lifeproof vinyl flooring with the ISO core. So I think that goes to show that Home Depot sees a ton of benefit, a ton of really interesting things about this brand, that they were willing to give away one of their most prestigious awards to this company based on this flooring type. So now that we know a little bit more about who Lifeproof is, where they came from, now let's start getting into some of the benefits, some of the pros that come with Lifeproof floors. Now, one of the qualities that we've been most impressed by has been the durability of these floors. So as you can see from the video, we kind of took a stab at seeing how much give and take that the floors had. We've been really impressed by how much flexibility there is, but how little give the floors have, especially when trying to bend them. So even though they're relatively thin, they've still shown to be pretty strong at the core. In addition, while there are similar types of flooring that will last you, below 10 years, somewhere between 5 and 8 years, vinyl or Lifeproof vinyl flooring can actually, or they claim to last between 15 and 20 years, and sometimes even more than that. So those are their claims. Also, we took a stab, no pun intended, at seeing how far their claims on scratch resistance went. And we were pretty impressed. We put quite a bit of force into the scissors when scratching up against the vinyl flooring. And when we get a close-up of it, it really shows very little traces of damage. Actually, it showed no traces of damage. Just a little bit of that top layer came off. You can't see it too well in the video. But we were impressed that there were no marks, and we put a good deal of pressure into it to see if it really held up. The next thing we should talk about is waterproofing. And so if you've ever gone shopping for Lifeproof flooring or you're still on your way, what you're going to notice is that there are signs everywhere talking about how waterproof these floors are, and it's even on the packaging. Now, the element that helps most with this waterproofing is what the manufacturer has developed called the ISO core. Now, you might have noticed the word ISO core during some of the footage that we were showing. And that's really the waterproof foam layer that sits at the middle of the floors that's supposed to prevent water damage. Now, what we notice is that, this core element it runs throughout the vinyl flooring plank, and it's sort of wedged between your wear layer and your underlayment layer. And it seems to be attached really well, so it's really sturdy in there. So, I would imagine that their claims on, what this ISO core element can do, have probably worked really well. And if you notice, we even did a small test, because that's just what we do around here. We poured some water, and what we really wanted to see if it would leave any traces of water, any streaks, any stains on it. And, we wiped it off pretty cleanly, absolutely no trace of any water. It'd be interesting to see how it does with water on it for long periods of time. So, most flooring, no matter what it's made of, if you leave water on it for long periods of time, you might start seeing some discoloration. So we didn't have these long enough to see that, but at least in our initial test, it looks like it does pretty well. Next up, and one of the primary benefits that Lifeproof vinyl flooring have to offer is all the color options and texture options that they have. So if you go into the store, you might see a few, maybe 8 to 10 that are kind of on display on the wall, which are probably their most popular. But they do claim to have over 40 different variations of colors and textures for you to choose from. So if you're worried about giving up the look and feel that you're going for because you're using Lifeproof or you're choosing to buy Lifeproof, we're here to let you know that that's not and it won't be an issue at all. Finally, let's talk quickly about the warranty. So they do offer a lifetime residential warranty, and they put a lot of weight on this. Again, all over the packaging, something that you'll see when you're researching Lifeproof flooring. They really hang their hat on this particular benefit. So it's very rare to find a lifetime warranty out there, but you really got to make sure that you're paying attention to a couple of things. Now, this warranty claims that the floors are going to be free of things like manufacturing defects, stains, wear, that kind of thing before installation. But one of the things that they do mention, you'll see this in the paperwork, we've done the work for you, is that you have to make sure to abide by some of their guidelines, specifically on their installation guidelines. So as part of the paperwork that they include in the packaging, it shows you exactly how your Lifeproof floors should be installed. If you decide to install a different route, that could void your warranty. So keep that in mind. Either way, it's still a pretty generous warranty, especially when you compare it against competing brands or competing floor types. Now let's talk about some of the cons. So, really the main thing for us are the limited shopping options. So, while it's convenient to have Home Depots nearly everywhere and pretty close to nearly every one, some people like to look around at different brands and different options. Because this is exclusive at Home Depot, if you're looking for vinyl flooring, it's in almost all cases the only brand of vinyl flooring that they have to offer. Not only that, but again, if you don't have a Home Depot near you, you'll have to find yourself either getting it shipped to your place or figuring out a way to get to the Home Depot or having to go elsewhere altogether just because it's inconvenient. So that small inconvenience is, we think, a bit of a con. Another thing to think about is that while this is a pretty cost-effective option, it is a little bit pricier than other options. Now, we don't think that means that you're getting less bang for your buck. We think that the value of these floors is pretty good, meaning that you're getting basically what you paid for. We do think that if you're looking to go a less expensive route, it may suffer in the quality, but you're not paying as much. Now, on the opposite end, and this might sound like opposite to what we just mentioned, but if you look at this compared to other pricier options, it's a little less quality. But again, to that point, this is great quality for the price that you're getting. So if you're looking for even higher quality, you're going to pay more of a premium. So, it's a little less quality and more expensive options, but you're getting what you're paying for. And finally, in doing our research, and we didn't see this ourselves while we were testing it, but there seemed to be some reports where the interlocking, tongue and groove during installation or repair tend to break off. Again, not something we saw ourselves, but there have been quite a few reviews online that state that they have issues during installation and during repairs where as they're trying to connect the two planks together, the interlocking system seems to be breaking off. So again, just something to keep in mind and be careful with if you decide to move forward with Lifeproof and either do the installation yourself or a good note to tell the contractor doing the work for you. Now let's get into some other topics that are really important, that don't really land in the pros and cons list, but things that, we really need to talk about, just so you get the full picture. Now, number one is pricing. So you want to know how expensive these floors are. You haven't been to the stores to see them yourselves, and there's not good information online. Well, during our trip, in our region of the country, it ranges anywhere from $2.50 to $2.80. Now, this is a pretty good price, and it may differ depending on where you're located. But we think it might not be more expensive than about $3 really anywhere, which is a good price. And again, to this point on pricing, we do think that this is a value buy. You are getting really good quality for that price, quality that can be comparable to a few options that are a bit more expensive. So you're actually getting a pretty good deal here when you're paying $250 to $280 for this quality of floor. Next, let's get into installation. And before getting into the installation method that Lifeproof suggests, we quickly want to mention that it isn't recommended that you install these outdoors. So this is a flooring type that you want to keep indoors in an area that's temperature controlled. So these are definitely not recommended for your deck area or any outdoor area that is not temperature controlled. So in general, Lifeproof floors are pretty easy to install and might be a good option if you're looking to do a little bit of a DIY project. Now they use an interlocking system for installation, sometimes also referred to as tongue and groove, which is actually pretty easy to move forward with. So you really don't need tons of glue or nails, really anything like that to actually complete the project. In fact, in the instructions, Lifeproof actually only suggests that you use a soft-faced hammer, and that's really all you'll need to complete the project. Now, there are other things that'll help in making sure that you have a space between the end of the boards and the crown molding or the walls. But in general, this is actually something that's not going to require a ton of tools and should be relatively easy to do in a short amount of time. Finally, let's talk about maintaining your Lifeproof floors. So something that's really important in any decision-making process when it comes to flooring is making sure that you understand what it's going to take for the upkeep of your floors and making sure that they last long periods of time. So if you want to maintain Lifeproof floors for the long run, it's recommended that you just do a daily sweeping just to get rid of any dirt or debris that could come in contact with your floors for long periods of time and get rubbed against by people's feet or the furniture. So you want to make sure that you're at least sweeping with a soft bristled broom at least every day. In addition to that, for any spots or spills, you'll want to use a damp mop. So it's important that you don't use anything that's overly wet. So it's something that's just damp, that's used to scrub down any spots or small stains that occur during the day. Now it's important you don't use anything too wet, again, because while these are waterproof floors, you don't want water sitting for long periods of time and ultimately getting through some of the seams and seeping through and creating long-term damage that's not seen until it's too late. So again, sweeping every day, perhaps a damp mop just used on an ad hoc basis whenever you need it, but definitely no really wet mops. And also be sure not to use any kind of oil-based or wax cleaners or any harsh chemicals on your Lifeproof vinyl floors. These can ruin them forever. So try to stay away from all that. So that's all we got on Lifeproof floors. That was our attempt at giving you all the necessary details and information that you need to make the best purchasing decision for your space. In general, a really cool brand with really good quality that if you're looking to save a bit of money but want a really nice flooring type, could be the way to go. As always, if you're looking for more information on flooring or different flooring types, you can visit our channel where we've got plenty more videos, or visit us at allthingsfloor.com. Till next time.